Hey guys, how's it going? My name's Music Man and today I'm going to be doing a guide on Blackjack mode in Identity 5. In this video I'm going to explain the basic rules of the game as well as a few of my personal strategies that I prefer to use when I'm playing Blackjack. This mode can be a bit overwhelming at first, especially when this mode is not given an interactive introduction unlike the normal version of the game. While I'm explaining the video, I'll show you some of my personal gameplay on the screen, and without further ado, let's get into the video. Blackjack is a game that has a combination of skill, strategy, and of course luck. The goal of the game is to end a single round with a hand valued at 21 or be the last survivor with the highest hand under 21. In the beginning of the game, the Ripper will automatically deal you your first card. At this point you have two options. You can choose to accept the first card you were dealt, or you can choose to draw another card in addition to the first card you drew. Round 1 is the only round that gives you this option. After the Ripper deals you your first hand, the round begins. In Blackjack, there are two roles, just like in the traditional game of Identity 5, survivors and hunters. The player with the highest valued hand always starts the round as the hunter. The hunter's job is to down a survivor within the 2-minute round. The survivor's goal is to decode cipher machines and to avoid gaining cards throughout the round. In the game, there is a currency named chips, in which the amount of chips you have is displayed on the left side of the screen. Chips are useful in many ways, as they allow you to purchase specific items that can assist you in many ways throughout the game. You gain chips by decoding cipher machines as a survivor, and you gain chips by downing survivors as a hunter. Each cipher machine is worth 100 chips, and each survivor you down is worth 50 chips. The items that I personally find to be the most helpful during gameplay are the red pass cards and the green discard cards. A pass card swaps a random card between you and a target player. There are 3 levels of pass cards, which are progressively more expensive. The level 1 pass card costs 50 chips, in which you can only pass a card in a small radius. Level 2 costs 100 chips and allows you to pass over a larger radius, and level 3 costs 300 chips, in which you can exchange a card between 2 players of an infinite distance. It is important to note that for the first 2 levels, there will be a pass animation of a card flying through the air toward the survivor. If there are any obstacles in the way of the animation, the pass card will break and thus have no effect, much like the coordinator's flare gun. The only exception to this is the level 3 pass card, which cannot be evaded. I like to use these cards if a player is at 21 to change the value of their hand, or if I quickly need a way to lower my hand, for instance if the round looks like it's almost over and I'm over 21. The second card that I find most helpful during gameplay is the green discard card, which is sold at 2 different levels. Level 1 costs 200 chips, and this card discards a random card from your hand. Level 2 costs 400 chips and allows you to discard a card of your choice from your hand. You should try to play this card only if you know that you are either at risk of going over 21 in the case that you are down, or if you are already over 21. Again, these are items that I find to be the most helpful to me, however you can experiment with different items than me to see what you like. The hunter's job is to down survivors that are trying to decode the ciphers. The hunter is able to teleport every 10 seconds, and his/her attack is a one-shot, and any attacks due to hunter abilities deal only half damage, such as Ripper's Foggy Blade or Soulweaver's Web Shot. A hunter starts the round without any presence, then gets maximum presence after 60 seconds have passed in the round. As I stated before, the hunter gets 50 chips for each survivor they down. However, when they click the button that would normally balloon the survivor, that survivor is forced to blindly draw a card from the hand of the hunter. And just some little miscellaneous rules about the end of the game is that if a person gets a hand of 21, the current round stops. No cards are drawn from the hunter, however a few things change. 1. The length of the round is significantly shorter. 2. If the player finishes the round with 21, that player automatically wins the game. If there are only 2 players left at the start of a round, the next round will be shorter and will be the last round of the game. If the hunter downs the only remaining survivor, they are presented with 2 choices. First, they can choose to keep the hands as they stand, or second, they can make the opponent draw a card from their hand like normal. The same rules apply for winning, as the player with the highest hand under 21 will be the winner. In the case that all players are over 21, the player with the smallest hand will be the winner. I think that just about covers the basic rules of the game. Now I'm going to talk about some of my strategies that I like to use when I play Blackjack. To start off the game, I know I need to make a decision. There are 2 ways I play, aggressive or conservative. If I want to play aggressively, I will draw a second card during the first round in the hopes of becoming the first hunter. If I am the first hunter, I try to down as many survivors as I can to obtain as many chips as I can that I can save for my late game. I also try to stick some of my high cards to other players to add pressure to survivors that have low hands. This is one way of playing, but sometimes I like to play conservatively, which means that I will only draw 1 card during the first round. Usually in these games, you will see me try to decode and avoid the hunter at all costs. When I play this way, my goal is to stay under 21 for as long as I can in the hopes that everyone else will go over. In my mid-game, I try to purchase and hold on to discard cards for as long as I can to try to save them for when I know I'll need them. In the late game, I think it's okay to start using more items to help you stay well under 21. If a player reaches 21 and it looks like the hunter will not be able to down Blackjack, I personally like to purchase and use the level 3 pass card and trade a card with the current hunter, to hope that I can pull their hand over 21 right before the round ends. These are just some of the things that I've observed playing the game, and of course you can spin off in your own direction if you think you have some ideas that are better than mine. With that being said, I would like to discuss what might be some good choices for characters in this game mode. On the hunter side, I like to choose characters that have good chase even without presence. Characters like Bloody Queen with the mirror, Gamekeeper with his hook, and Spider with the webs. On the survivor side, it's important to note that certain characters have received nerfs specifically for this game mode. For instance, the Gravekeeper is only given 1 shovel per round, whereas he would get 2 in a normal game. I couldn't list all of the nerfs right now, however, I would like to discuss 3 of my favorite characters that I think are game-breaking for this game mode. The first game-breaking character in this game, in my opinion, is the Embalmer. The Embalmer gets a coffin every single round of the game, in which if he is down and has a coffin placed, he is revived after the normal 8 seconds, but also gets last effort, which can be game-breaking in a Blackjack round, in which has a lot less time than a normal round. The one downside to this character, in my experience, is that you can plan on being targeted a lot. Many players are aware of just how broken this character is in Blackjack and will target him early to avoid him as he gets to late game when he becomes really powerful. Another character that I like to play in Blackjack is the Coordinator. The explanation for her is much simpler than the Embalmer. She gets a flare gun every round. This basically means that you get a get out of jail free card once every round from a hit. As is playing Coordinator in the regular game, it is important to be aware of the environment and know that you have a clear shot at the hunter to avoid hitting obstacles and not getting the stun. The last character I would like to mention, and my personal favorite honestly, would have to be the Gravekeeper. His shovel is a nice counter to Geisha and can be used similar to Seer Owls. In a round, you can stay underground to help you absorb a hit or try to get to a better kiting area of the map in the event of a chase. While these are some of my personal favorite characters in the game, this list isn't exhaustive. If there is a specific character that you know how to kite well with or use their abilities efficiently, it is perfectly reasonable for you to use that character. I'm just trying to give starting players a frame of mind that could help point them in the general idea of what you want in a character for this game mode. This has been my personal guide on Blackjack and Identity 5. Please like and subscribe if this video helped you, and if you have any additional questions or if you have suggestions for future videos, please let me know in the comments section below. Thanks for watching, and please enjoy the rest of the game on the screen.
Oh.